All right, land on your back, feet this way, head that way. The supine decompression is where you're going to start with this. So big toes together, knees slightly up, close the hips, big breath, hands in the center, thumbs in the rib cage, pinkies on the pelvis. You're going to take the right heel and put it on the inside of the left shin, right on the ankle joint. And you're going to, right here, right on the ankle joint. Okay? And you're going to close this hip and close the bottom hip. And then you're going to slowly trace this heel up the inside of the shin, all the way to the kneecap, and then back down. That's a shin tracer with both hips closed. So you're like typing, and then you're moving. Okay. And that slow trace, when you've got that heel on the inside of the shin, it just keeps you honest. You'll see people want to remove the heel, and then you've got no idea where that foot really is. So by closing everything and tracing it up and down, you isolate that right hip right now. Bring that right heel up to the knee. Bring the left hand, push it on the inside of the knee, and push the knee into the hand. There's an isometric for the inside of the hip. Hold that and take the foot up to the sky. Hold that. Yes.
You feel that in my lower back.
Now, lower back, you'll get people Charlie horse there in the hamstring and the calf as well, because you're lengthening. What we're doing, we're working to the foot. We're getting the hip, we're getting the calf, we're getting the hamstring, and then once you get up there, now we're going to do ankle circles, and then we're going to spread and curl and crunch the toes. This is where you do your foot and ankle work, but you're keeping that hip true while you do it, and that's what keeps tension in the system. Otherwise, if there's slack in the system and you're doing ankle circles, you're really not doing anything strength-wise. But this is going to strengthen that pulley system, because right here and right here is where the ropes attach to on all the feet, all the foot muscles. Wonderful. From here, make sure you take the heel straight back down to the knee, and then trace down to exit. So you leave the same way you came in. This is when this work becomes really, really intentional and really detailed, when you want to get after something that's far away from the body, like a wrist or an ankle. Neck, shoulder also, they're far away the way I see it. You've got to keep everything in the center, stable, elongated before you go after those joints to have the positive effect. Big toes together, close the hips. Let's do the left side. Do 4 traces. Nice and slow, up. Good. Close those hips. Close that under hip. A lot of people forget to close that under hip. Good. You feel where you don't have control, it wants to speed up. Those are the zones that you know that you can work on.
That middle right there is where I just want.
And that is in your walk where you lose it to. So right here, you're resetting that stride in that zone. So then come up, lock it in, isometrically hold, stand up, ankle gyroscope. Wonderful. I've heard it called toe pointers, point to toe, semicircles, one direction, semicircles the other way. It's a gyroscope, so there's 360 degrees of movement. Yep, pops and crackles. And then extend that leg, good, and then come back down and exit. Whoop, come heel down to the knee and exit the way you came in, good. Now, if I were to pick up your foot here, I'm going to be able to pop toes if they haven't already in that position. So if you wanted to do that with people, you can open up that foot. Here's one. So just that pinky toe on this side was the only thing that went. Everything else you did a great job of. So there's a little manual work there, but I always finish with just extending it. It's not going to fix it. It's more or less just let you know, hey, I still got a little tension, whichever one popped. Cool? Roll over on tummy. And then progress up into the Seiza position. Good. Now bring we're gonna go right foot forward. And we're gonna turn into it, raise the heel, and lower the back of the hip. You can feel that calf muscle engage if you're pushing that forefoot into the ground. Put this hand back of this hip, this hand on the outside of the knee.
A little more so on my hand.
Cool. Hammy's the hip.
Okay.
Hammy's definitely the hip.
Okay.
Hammy in the back are what surround that hip. If you were to open the shin, yes, and then calf raise. Boom. Ooh. Yeah. So this is another zone that a lot of people will Charlie horse the foot or the calf. But now you're in a safe position to open and slowly descend. Because when we're landing to the ground, we need control. So you're controlling the descent. On the way up can be powerful, but on the way down is an active lengthening of those tissues. If you want to make it more difficult, you can get support there. You can push away from it and get more pressure, head and chest further into this side. And that's just going to target more of the opening of that hip, and it should make that calf raise a little harder. Okay, so know that you just got to add length. When you turn, you're adding pressure, you're adding length, tensioning the joint. And then you can see you're in this crease.
Which is what I want.
Which is what we're targeting.
Okay. And then that's physical therapy for my right foot right there.
Absolutely. It's the best possible thing you can do. From there, you get into full standing, you add more weight.
Okay.
You do plyometrics in the pool before you did it on full gravity. We'll do some work on the wall, where we're facing the wall. And a lot of ways to do calf raises, but know you're in this position. It's going to be the most accurate, which is the most beneficial, versus adding more weight is going to build more strength. But if this is a challenge, then that's where you want to be.
Okay.
And then switch sides. This is the kind of work you throw a weight vest on, right? And you make it a little harder.
I got one of those at home.
Just throw it on any of the work we've done.
It's what I walk my dog with on this trail.
Perfect. When you're walking, you go, I'm going to do 20 yards, heels don't touch.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of people, that's a whole nother, when you're stretching that back hip, that's a whole nother world. What I want you to do is turn the pelvis, yep, and then load that hip back. So you'll extend behind the knee. Make a more obtuse angle behind that knee, opening it up. And you'll notice when you make it bigger, where does all the pressure want to go? In the heel. So keep that heel off, good, and get that hip all the way back. How far back can you get? How long can you get this angle? You get a basketball arm, there you go. That's where you need to be. Okay. And then raise the heel. Hand here. Tall. Good. And then into that other column. Good work. You'll feel yourself want to fall back into that knee side sometimes, yeah?
Yeah.
Calf raise. You can also do
Totally different.
an alternating reach by reaching up with the right hand and then packing that elbow back into the body, just like we did earlier. And then the calf raise becomes a little more technical. Push this outside of the foot into the mat. This is where all the details come in. Little shapes, little patterns. Good work. Boom. Feel that wobble?
Yeah, it's totally different on this side, right?
And that's what we know about that left side.
Yeah.
That's that side that's going to be really more of your focus. Because you have the right injury, right ankle injury, so you've been focusing on that side, and the left side needs a little love, and that ultimately is what's going to protect both.
Slow on the way down.
Slow on the way down. That's when you get that wobble. And if you feel that wobble, can you actually hold that zone where there's a wobble? And you'll feel that wobble intensify, where it becomes a lot more elastic. Tighten the butt cheek, tighten the hip, really take the hip back, and there's that wobble, there's that bounce. That is much easier to get when we're doing wall work. Okay, your butt's on the wall, and you're up, and you just hold it for time, and then it'll eventually start coming. Cool? Go ahead, come up. Let's see your transition. Good. Awesome. Good work. Chad. My guy. You get it. Those transitions are the pieces of the puzzle.